Hi, I'm AJ with Convivium Urban Farmstead, and everything's been growing wonderfully, including the weeds. And so today I want to point a few things out about weeds so that you understand what you have to do when you weed. Different plants have different growth habits or different places that they grow from. So when you weed, you want to make sure to get the part where the plant is growing from, because if you leave it behind, it's just going to give power to the roots, which then give more power to the weed, and it comes back even more vengeful. Excuse me. So there's four areas or four common themes in weeds that I want to point out. The first category is in monocots, grasses and onions, and then the second category is dicots, and then the third category, we'll get to that in a second. But first let's talk about monocots and dicots. So grasses and other monocots tend to grow a fibrous root system. And in order to get rid of monocots, you have to get this little bitty plate between where the plant grows and where the fibrous root system comes. If you leave a bunch of those roots in the ground, it's fine because there's nothing there to grow from. But if you were to leave just a little bit of that plate, that's just going to be a bigger root in about a week. And the dicots kind of have the same idea. In this case, they have more of a taproot system. You can see the main root right there, and then here's another example on a different weed. Another example, but in these cases, there's an area called the root crown, where the tissue changes from root to stem, and it's, in this case, it's right from like right there to right there. And you want to make sure to get that, because this is where all the buds are that are going to make a new plant. So as long as you get below that and leave just root tissue in the ground, you should be okay. Same with this one. You can see where there are buds to make a new plant at this point in the root crown. So as long as you get at least that much of the root out, it should be okay. And then the other category are kind of rhizomes, or technically there's going to be a different name for them, I think. This is like an above ground stem, but kind of like in the video where we talked about propagating plants, there's an inner node and then there's a node, and from this node leaves grow, but also roots can grow from there. So this is good old creeping Charlie, and if you were to leave any one of these things in the soil, that'll make a brand new plant. So when you have to get creeping Charlie out, you have to be really thorough about getting the whole thing. And then it's the same thing with this mint. It's just the differences in the mint. The rhizome is underground, and so you can see where there are roots that are coming off of the underground stem. But in this one, there's roots and a little bitty bud that's going to be a branch that pops up pretty soon. And so when you're weeding this out, you want to make sure to get the whole rhizome. So monocots, dicots, make sure you get the crown or the plate where the upper plant tissue comes from. With rhizomes, you got to get the whole thing, and otherwise you're going to spend more of your summer than you want weeding. So good luck.